The New York Jets are 1-0 in the preseason. It might not mean much, but for AG and his new regime, they make a big statement in their 30-10 Green Bay Packer win in Lambeau. I will get into it, but welcome everybody for another video here on the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, I am Joe Skirdo, and before we dive into week one of the preseason, please subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Like the video if you've actually liked it, and you can also follow me on X and on Instagram at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. I said it already, the Jets 30-10 victory against the Packers in AG's coaching debut. There was a lot of good to gain out of it, some things that need to be fixed, and then at the end of the day, let's not overreact completely, but we can certainly be happy, right? A win is a win. I don't care if it goes in the win-loss record or not. It was the first football game of the 2025 season regardless, and the Jets came out with an absolute dominant win. Shout out to Jake Asman, you probably know, largest YouTube channel for Jets fans. He had a crazy stat on his show yesterday. He said that this was the Jets' largest preseason win, I believe, on the road specifically, since 1998. Bill Parcells was the head coach. Aaron Glenn was the cornerback. This team was prepared, and that was the main thing that I gained out of this. Yes, did they make some undisciplinary penalties? Absolutely. You know, you got to be more disciplined, and jumping off sides the very first snap of the game made you think, man, is this ever going to end? Jay Tufale follows with a great game. We'll get into him, but overall, they were ready. They were prepared, and they were held accountable. When these penalties were happening in real time, you saw Aaron Glenn go to each and every single player, essentially. That's not something you had last year. It just felt like a different vibe. The offense felt like it was ran way more just smoothly in general. And there was some just great plays that you just saw, wow, that's coaching, like Isaiah Davis faking out I believe it was an outside linebacker to really free up the space in Justin Fields' touchdown. But let's just dive into this game. I'll give you my reactions. And yeah, it's preseason, but the Jets are 1-0. And I'm going to pull out the box score here. Hopefully I know there's sometimes there's there's rules that you can't show certain things because it's copyright. I hope this isn't a copyright issue. I really don't know. Let's remove that. So here is the box score for the Jets, and we'll start out really in the first drive of the game. I mean, listen, Justin Fields was as good as you could have asked for. He was 3 for 4. He had 2 rushes for 14 yards, and obviously his 13-yard rushing touchdown on 3rd and 5, to open up the game 7-0. You know, when you score a touchdown in your only drive, that's a great start to your Jets career. Really, I thought he looked poised in the pocket. He ran when he had to. But again, he had some great pass protection. The offensive line was absolutely fantastic in this game, whether it was the first, second, or third strings. But the first string line, and this was without John Simpson, Myers was playing center and Tippmann was at guard. Fields was able to almost go through all of his progressions to the point that the biggest name out of that whole entire drive was fullback Andrew Beck. Yeah, Andrew Beck. He had 2 receptions for 36 yards, and it was just 2 dump-offs. But he was the one essentially to get him in the red zone, and that led up to Justin Fields' touchdown. And even on Justin Fields' touchdown, he tried to go through his progressions. The pocket kind of collapsed a little too early, and he was able to do what he did. And like I said, Isaiah Davis, of course, had that just high IQ playing, and that's got to go on coaching. It absolutely does. And even with the offense itself, I think Tanner Angstrom had a great debut. And yes, it's hard to tell. It's a little misleading because when are the starters actually playing for Green Bay? And most of the guys, they're playing against or aren't maybe going to make the roster. But same with the Jets, though. Like the Jets offense, I mean, you could say, oh, they're playing their backup defense. I mean, when the Jets backups were in, they were going against the Green Bay's backups and they were dominating them. And then when you had the first two drives, Jordan Love had two drives in this game, and the Jets defense looked really good. But let's stick with the offense for another second. I think just the plays that he was able to dissect, the passing plays to really just put Justin Fields in a comfortable position, especially when you're only in one drive. And just the checkdowns, I thought were terrific. The tight end, Andrew Beck, this could be a name. This was Muji's first signing, as AG said, after the post game press conference. So their offense just operated so differently. And Breece Hall only had 3 carries for 9 yards, and Garrett Wilson had 1 target, which was a poor throw. It was the only Justin Fields incompletion, and he didn't even have a reception. So you're talking about the Jets' 2 best weapons not even really making any impact. It was more, like I said, Andrew Beck. Tyler Johnson had a big grab on 3rd down. It was, I believe, 3rd and 7. It got them out of a 3-and-out. And that extended the drive, and the rest was history. Braylon Allen broke out for a nice gain, and I thought he had a pretty solid day, but you had to be ecstatic about Justin Fields having one drive, driving down and scoring a touchdown. And then for the rest of the night, even too, you look at really the other quarterbacks. Adrian Martinez, 11 for 16, 152 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Brady Cook went 6 for 8, 62 yards. And it went Fields, Cook, Martinez. The one thing you see is no turnovers. So the Jets didn't commit any turnovers on offense and had 2 turnovers combined on defense and special teams. That doesn't really happen too often with the New York Jets. And yes, the penalties, again, were a concern, but just look at the quarterback play. I thought Adrian Martinez looked really comfortable. He really could have had a second touchdown to rookie Arian Smith. He just beat out the defender right away and was able to create space. Unfortunately, Martinez was not able to get the ball to him. But I think overall, Martinez looks solid. We kind of know who he is already. But Brady Cook, I thought was super poised too, especially for an undrafted rookie. He got thrown in there right in the second drive. I mean, Green Bay probably still had some of their I think they still have some of their starters on defense, considering that Jordan Love played 2 possessions. So their starters played 2 possessions each. And, I thought Brady Cook held his own. I mean, he's an SEC quarterback. I feel like those guys usually could kind of fare well when there's bigger moments. I thought Brady Cook really made an argument to potentially make the roster. Speaking of making the roster, Michigan hero in the national championship 2 years ago, Donovan Edwards was really, really good. He had 9 carries for 42 yards. I think, let's see. Yeah, he also had a catch for 21 yards, but he had a 70-yard touchdown call back. A 70-yard touchdown run. I believe it was a hold, which was just unfortunate. We already mentioned Braylon Allen, 8 carries, 33 yards. He did have that 14-yard gain for a first down on the touchdown drive in the opening for the starters. And the receiving end, we talked about Andrew Beck. Tyler Johnson had the big 3rd down catch to extend the touchdown drive for Justin Fields, and also added another catch, I think, delivered from Brady Cook. But there wasn't any super standouts. The ball kind of gets spread around preseason. Stone Smart had a great touchdown from Adrian Martinez. It was a really good screen pass led by Xavier Newman, who made a couple of great blocks. So overall for the offense, you just got to like what you've seen. And yeah, it's just the offense was operated so much differently under Tanner Angstrom compared to Todd Downing or Nathaniel Hackett. It was just an absolute dumpster fire the last couple of years. So it's very encouraging. And we go to the defensive side. Mentioned him a little bit, but Jay Tufale was an absolute beast. He had 1.5 sacks. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. As I mentioned, the Jets did have 2 turnovers. Mecole Hardman, the former Jet, muffed the punt. That was bittersweet. That was very nice to see. Not even bittersweet. That was unbelievable to see. What am I talking about? And then I believe it was Leonard Taylor that knocked the ball out of Malik Willis right in the end zone. Came out of his hands. Tufali almost grabs it with one hand, swoops it in, scores a touchdown. So yeah, Tufali, this is a guy who came over from Cincinnati, and Byron Court and Quentin Williams weren't able to play. He got inserted. He played a ton, and man, did he make a name for himself. I think he was probably the most impressive guy on the defense for a defense that played really well. I thought Jamin Davis was flying around. I think he's going to win the linebacker 3 spot. Sauce Gardner was really, really good on that opening drive. And yeah, that pass interference could have been either way. I do think it was, maybe he grabbed him a second early, but super aggressive, made a couple good tackles. So that was a great sign. Overall, the defense was really good. It's just some of those penalties you got to clean up. But, this is the first game under the new regime, right? It's going to get cleaned up eventually. And when you win 30-10 and you still had some penalty issues, that's really, really good. So I also liked just the way Steve Wilkes' defense operated. Say what you want about Salah. The Duke could call a good defense, but it was so much different compared to Steve Wilkes. And you could just feel the aggressiveness. I like the blitzes. And it really, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just really liked the way the defense ran throughout the game. And it was almost at times like they were too physical. And if that's an issue, then that's great. So, of course, the Jets defense only gave up 10 points. The touchdown was at the very end of the game when they started kind of giving up rushing yards. But that was like third, fourth string guys. It's not that serious. It really didn't matter at that point in time. When things mattered, the Jets defense were able to get sacks when they wanted to. They got the turnover when they needed it. And they tackled well too, for the most part. I mentioned Sauce Gardner. That's a green flag. I think already you're seeing the change from Sauce Gardner in the old regime to the new regime. And again, I thought the defense performed well. It looked like a Wilkes defense that, Aaron Glenn also has a lot of say into it. And how about the special teams? I mentioned the muff pump on Mecole Hardman. They recovered it to get field position, end up getting a field goal at the end of the first half to go up 17-3, excuse me. But the special teams, even with the kicking side, like Austin McNamara was awesome, the rookie punter. He almost averaged 50 yards a punt. I mean, and all 3 were inside the 20. He might have just won that punting job. I mean, I'm really curious to see what he does for the rest. And I know we were kind of afraid of having 2 guys with no experience punting and kicking. It's not going to be the case. Nick Folk's going to win that job. He did kick an extra point. But Thicker Kicker did go 3 for 3, but you had to hold your breath on all 3. I mean, even at the end, I think it was only like a 21-yard field goal before the first half. Like I said, when Mecole Hardman muffed the punt, that was a scary kick. He literally almost missed it. So, but again, Mevis was able to go 3 for 3. You can't knock him. So the special teams was really impressive as well. So overall, a good day for the Jets. I can't sit here and get overly hyped. The penalties were still a concern. There's still things to clean up, of course. I would like to see Justin Fields throw the ball more downfield the second time around, just to kind of give us a different look. But overall, when you win 30-10, it's hard to say anything negative. And I think the Jets fans should, they deserve it. They should enjoy it, no matter, even though it doesn't count. There was a lot of good things to see. And it kind of gives you that optimism that maybe this regime can do it. I know a lot of people probably don't want to go down that road because they're sick of getting their feelings hurt. I feel the same way. I'm trying to restrain myself, but I was a big AG guy coming in anyway. He was the guy I wanted all along. So usually that doesn't happen with these coaching searches. Like, my main guy never is really the one that gets hired. So it was pretty sweet that, AG was my main guy going in, and he was the one that ultimately got hired. And you could just see the energy and how these guys respond to him. And it looked a lot different, man. And I'm really just more intrigued and curious to see how it looks consistently. And that's what Aaron Glenn really, emphasized, that winning is good, but we need to win consistently. Will the Jets be able to do that in 2025? That is unknown, but the Jets will be playing the New York Giants this upcoming Saturday for week 2 of the preseason. Jackson Dart looked really good for them. I'm excited to see what he does against the Jets defense, and I'm excited to see what Justin Fields does against the Giants defense, because that front four with Carter, Burns, Lawrence, and they had one, and Thibodeau, really, really good. So I think that'd be exciting. They're going to have that joint practices, so there'll actually be a lot to talk about in terms of practice. I'll have videos on that. But appreciate everyone sticking around for the video. And if you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, follow me on X and Instagram. And until next time, see ya.